Hey folks, been about 3 weeks plus since my last update, so I figured I'd show y'all what was going on. Made a whole lot of changes in that time. We'll start right here with all these tomato plants. I got some of everything. A lot of these things that Tootie sent me, and I've started them, and they came up. I put like 5 seeds in the cell, and when all 5 come up, I end up with 5 plants, which is way more than any, of any specific variety that I need. Like these Cheyenne and Danco, they went 5 for 5. Some of the other ones, the bush beefsteak, Carol Chico, we got Cooster Lee up here, Brandywine Red, German Johnson's, Black Sicilian or Sicilian Saucer, Black Seaman is down on the ground, and inside here we got a ton of pepper plants and some more tomatoes, Stump of the World, Kosovo, Royal Hillbilly, Muscovich, all kinds of stuff. And up here, these are some I need to go ahead and get separated today. These from a lady up in Pennsylvania sent me some seed, some Yoder, German Yellow, Pineapple, Snow White Cherry, I think Garden Peach, Bulgarian Triumph, and then some Superboy Hybrid that I bought from Walmart. Got some Creole and some beefsteak from Dusty, along with his top pick snaps. I'm going to try to grow them out in here and save the seed, so when it comes time to plant the garden outside, I'll be able to maybe get enough to plant a row. And these are my Cooster Lees. Just look at the stems on those things. This thing's fatter than a pencil. Very, very nice. So I'm going to put them in grow bags. Most of these in the 6-inch pots have two plants in each one. They will be suckered and trimmed back to just one main stem and run up kind of like Possum did a lot of his stuff, and like regular greenhouse production does. The same old tomato plant right here that just keeps on going. Still got plenty of tomatoes on it. Pretty soon I'm going to go ahead and top it and let it make what it's going to do, and free up the space right here. If you notice, all those non-marglobes, they are gone. I don't know, they were kind of like a pink beefsteak, brandywine kind of deal. They made some good tomatoes, and I did save seed out of that one big one that weighed almost 1.5 pounds, so I'll plant them out pretty soon. See what they do the second time around. The peppers right here, these were in the little gallon pots, and I pulled them up. They had a little bit of root coming out the bottom of the pot, but not a whole lot. I just dug a nice hole, put some compost in there, and set them in. And you got coming out with a ton of peppers already. And these things pollinate very well. They get all kinds of pollen. Makes them very easy to to fertilize. Right here is my iceberg lettuce, and I've never grown this before. Never been able to make a head of lettuce in my life, so I'm not sure exactly what they're supposed to look like. Most of them have a little brown orangish tinge around the edge of the leaves. As they keep growing, it's a really tough leaf kinda. It's not real frail like a leaf lettuce. So I'm gonna assume that they're doing the right thing. I did put a second layer of plastic up here to try to cut down on the sun a little bit, as I think it was a little too hot. And I also use a fan blowing across it in the daytime to try to micromanage this one little spot to keep the temperature down a little bit. On the sidewall right here, there's actually a few broccoli plants up here, and all this other stuff. The last video I said was broccoli. It's cabbage. Why I planted so many cabbage instead of broccoli, I have no idea. And you can see that they're just, to me, it doesn't look like they're growing very well. I think the ground temperature on this sidewall is just too cold. I was reading a book by Elliot Coleman that a lady in, I think, Pennsylvania sent to me, and he was talking about the difference in ground temperature or soil temperature and air temperature, and how important it was to have the right soil temperature. You can have 75 degrees above ground and 45 in ground, your plant's not going to grow. Same thing with your starting seed, so it makes sense. If you get the soil right, your seed's going to go ahead and germinate, and you'll do fine. So next year I need to make sure I've got a bench or something to set things on, or either set them in a container or something like that, not in ground right next to the sidewall. Tomatoes, anybody want a tomato sandwich? There's plenty of tomatoes back here, and some nice ones too. I'll probably pick about a 5-gallon bucket of those today. and decided to do something with it. I'm probably going to ship some around the country again, as I kind of enjoy doing that, surprising folks. And I believe when you're a gardener and you're used to raising vegetables and you know how much time and effort goes into it, you probably appreciate things a lot more than somebody who doesn't. And so, you know, I just like to do that. There's my black sea man. Supposed to make a big kind of blackish greenish tomato, good for fried green tomatoes. Not so much for a tomato sandwich because they don't just look pretty. They don't look very pretty. More peppers. Plant's kind of is root bound in a little pot, and so I guess it figures it's time to start making some more of its own, because it's probably not going to have long to live the way it's thinking. And go ahead and get into the production mode. This one right here is in the ground, getting plenty of nutrients. The root's got plenty of room to grow, so he's in no hurry. Kind of something to file away. This one right here, same deal. He's root bound, and look at the peppers in there. I think somebody was talking about how many peppers you can make, and I believe you can make 50 peppers from one plant. I'm going to number these things and keep up with how many peppers are picked from each one, and see if I can get 50 peppers off one plant. Just plenty more peppers. Same deal. These are in the ground. These are in the ground. They are in no hurry to produce. Right here is cabbage. Thought it was broccoli, but it's cabbage. Again, why I planted so many cabbage plants, I don't know, because I had so many in the garden at the time. But similar situation, outside sidewall. These 4 plants kind of puny, not doing a whole lot. The next 5 right here doing a little bit better, and then these 4 doing even better. And I think that's a product or byproduct of the cold ground temperatures. The farther you go to the outside, the colder it gets, and the plants just are not going to do very well in, you know, 45 degree soil or whatever it happens to be. Right here is my diva cucumbers. I'm down to 6. I had 8, and last Saturday it was a pretty warm day, and the sun just beat on them and they wilted down. Even with a lot of water, they just couldn't take the sun. So maybe I need to acclimate them a little bit slower, but now I've got them sitting behind these tomato suckers, so hopefully that'll provide a little bit of shade for them while they get accustomed to their new home. And these suckers right here, they have done extremely well. I really like doing suckers as opposed to starting seedlings. I started these things on January 1st. I just cut them off, put them in a pot of soil, you know, and kept them watered till they grew the roots, and then stick them in these grow bags, and they had gone crazy. And I just bought these little $2.50 tubs from Walmart to put up under it to hold the water and make it easier so I can water them from the bottom up. Got these tomato clips from Johnny's, and they work extremely well. When they fold up, they actually clamp around your string and hold it in place and keep it from sliding up and down. And you can string tomatoes a whole lot faster, and you can make sure that the stem stays nice and straight, because some of the others, when I was wrapping the vine around the string, the stem started to twist and it would get an odd shape to it, and I wasn't real crazy about that, but you live and learn. So I think these are looking a whole lot better, going to do much better. I'll keep all the suckers off of them. It kind of looks like some of the ones that Possum had going on. He had some just incredible looking tomato plants strung up 2 to a 5-gallon bucket. These are in 5-gallon grow bags, so kind of comparable. If I can get anything close to what he had, I'll be satisfied with that. Right here, the pak choy, which is that Chinese cabbage. Everything looking very, very good. I've never grown this stuff before either, so it's a first time. Looking forward to seeing exactly how big they get. I've seen the pictures of them. If they get anything like the pictures, it's a very beautiful plant. Whether you eat it or not, it's just pretty the way it feels out. Onions right here. I probably need to cut the tops off of these, but about 2 more weeks I'll be ready to plant potatoes, and I'll probably go ahead and top some of these and stick them in the ground. Carrots, I dug this one up a little while ago to see what it looked like, and you got one down there about big as your thumb, so should be some more carrots up under there. And my squash, I finally got the hang of pollinating, and we picked 4 big ones yesterday, and got plenty more on here coming. They are much easier to pollinate than them little bitty bush cucumbers and, you know, bush pickles, that kind of stuff. You just take, this is the female right here. I pollinated this one this morning. If you look real good, you can kind of see the pollen sitting on the ovary right here. This is the male flower, and this is the female. Basically what I do is I take a male from another plant, like this one right here. This was the male, and I cut all the leaves off of it, and you still see a little bit of pollen left down in there. And then you just take it and flip it over, and you rub it on it like that, and you get the male pollen onto the female ovary right here, and you make your squash. And you make plenty of them. Once in a while one will open up and I'll miss it, and then, you know, that one's not going to make, but I can't get them all. I'm not like a little bumblebee climbing around from flower to flower. So I try to check them each morning, see if I got a flower open that I can do something with, and then go from there. But outside of that, that's about it for right now. I'm liking the way these tomatoes are looking. Strings going straight up as opposed to the others that are in a cage and leaning and then kind of going up. But lesson learned, and I'll go on from there. Y'all take care.